The only reason I'm here is to secure the future.
He was he's a veteran, man.
Mm-hmm.
Acting veteran. This guy, he's old school, man. He just had I don't know, man. It was something that was, he just, with this character, obviously a bad guy, but there was such a dignity to that character, that I love. And he brought it to it.
Tell you, watching that scene, I wish there was some way she could have taken her earrings off.
Take that damn head off right there, them dookie braids she got, which I know is attached to her head. But and I thought the fight scenes in this were good. I thought it was well choreographed. I thought a lot of fight scenes were made. Their fight scene was brilliant, man.
Mm-hmm.
The new Star Wars show, Ahsoka, has been on for 5 episodes now. They have 8 in total, but 5 have been out there so far. And people have been asking us to talk about this. They say, where's the Ahsoka review, man? Y'all used to talk about Star Wars. And some people would come in, they tell those people, they said, why are you asking? Because Corey ain't nothing but an old hater. Been talking about Star Wars, ain't his Star Wars no more, his old ass. Star Wars ain't what it used to be. Oh, Star Wars is stupid right now. Oh, why you watching that bullshit? You dumb for watching it too. Shit, y'all don't appreciate good filmmaking. Y'all don't appreciate cinema. Because Star Wars ain't that no more. Yeah, I said all that, man. I said all that and then some. I looked at Star Wars, I said, mama. I think I said Star Wars can kiss my ass. Star Wars eat a dick. I said all that. Yeah, I can be a hater at times, and I think I'm justified in it. So
all haters do.
As all haters do. That's why some people are getting ready for me to start hating on your girl right here, Ahsoka. Look, that's me chasing him down right now. Bring your stupid ass here.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create.
For all the people who love Star Wars and everything Star Wars, I don't need to tell you what this is about, but for those of you who don't, Ahsoka once the Padawan. A Padawan is somebody that trains under a Jedi. Mm-hmm. She was once a Padawan under the great Anakin Skywalker before he became an asshole. And she learned some, because he got some skills. She learned a few things. So now, with the skills that she's learned, she's trying to stop a general from returning who everybody thinks is dead. Because if he comes back, then it's going to be all out war in the galaxy again. And they said, man, we just got these people settled down.
Right.
We just got everything under control. Now this guy want to come up stirring up shit again. At the same time, she's going to need a lot of help. So she's joined by a general in the rebel forces and also maybe a Padawan of her own. So
former
Padawan, but she wants to bring her back into the fold again, and try to see if she can get her ass straight. But here's the thing about this. Now, I'm not just going to jump into this. With things like shows now, I don't like to just come in and just give straightforward reviews, because that's what a lot of people do. Because much to the surprise of many out there, I very much like this series, man. Yeah, Ahsoka, I like this, man. And I'm surprised about this because with Ahsoka, if you don't keep up with Star Wars, there's a few hurdles that you got to get through. First of all, it's just the whole mythology and lore behind the property itself that you have to kind of catch up with. But on top of that, this is somewhat connected to, spinning off from, continuing on from Clone Wars. So this is like a live action version of Clone Wars that we're having right here.
Right.
And so if you don't know too much on Clone Wars, or if you don't know too much about Clone Wars, you're going to come into this and there's going to be some things you're going to miss. And, so, again, surprisingly, I found those things to not be a hindrance to me. I found those to not actually be as hard to watch or make this as hard to watch as I thought it would be.
Somewhat on the opposite plane, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? I mean, we will give a review of this. And by the way, this is just me, because first of all, I don't love this. I'll tell you that right now. I don't.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
No, I don't. No, I don't love it. I don't think that everything's working in there. Some of those things that are gripes that I've always had with Star Wars lately, but not as much as some of the other things that we have seen. So I don't, tell you what, can I give some reasons why? What I was going to do is as somebody who has not kept up with a lot of stuff Star Wars, or has not watched Clone Wars, or has not enjoyed the most recent shows, and definitely not the latest movies that came out, except for a couple, Rogue One and Solo. I actually like that. So as someone who has not been the biggest fan, I would love to come in and talk about why I feel like this series works for me, at least on the level that it is working.
Okay.
And then we can come in and we can give sort of our own opinions and give reasons why we think it's not working. But let me just talk about why I think that this is working. I got some reasons right here. Why? A few reasons. So, and again, this could be because I'm comparing this to some of the things that I did not like.
I get that.
Very much.
Yeah.
But I do feel like with Ahsoka, I think this series, first of all, it feels more focused on story than some of these things that we have out here. Now, am I like bullshit? Looking at me, not for me. Well, let me explain why for me though, because I feel like this is written and produced. This is, the name of the guy, Dave Filoni. This is written and produced by Dave Filoni. I love Star Wars, partner. Tell you what, the Force. Dave Filoni, I think he even directed a couple episodes. I know he directed one. I saw his name on one episode. But a lot of people believe that he has done some of the best new generation Star Wars material.
It's a low bar, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, well, he did Clone Wars. He's a big Force, goddamn, no pun intended. He was one of the big names behind Clone Wars right here. And over the years, he's proven that he kind of understands what makes Star Wars work. I think he understands what makes Star Wars work better than George Lucas.
Sure.
Because with Star Wars, at least our Star Wars Clone Wars, with Clone Wars, he gave a lot of characters more depth than they ever had in the movie. Anakin Skywalker in this, they gave this from what I haven't seen the series, but I hear from a lot of people that they say that with Anakin Skywalker, they gave him the heroism and the tragedy that was, and the impact of that was missing from the prequels.
Yeah.
You ever watch Clone Wars?
No. I like I would say, I watched a little of the animated Jendy Tartakovsky, and I watched some of the 3D stuff, and it didn't grab me.
Okay, no, and for a lot of people it doesn't. But I was told by some people to watch some of this, and I was told that.
Yeah, I had a day where I was like, everybody's been telling me to watch it. Let me sit there and watch it. I watched about 3 or 4 of them, and I was just like, yeah, it's not holding my interest.
The ones that caught me were the ones with Darth Maul. So because Darth Maul, so you remember Darth Maul from the first prequel movie that was out there. And Darth Maul, look, y'all can, all right, here I go.
The one who got cut in half, but then somehow came back.
Yeah, well, they actually explained it. And if you watch Clone Wars, it's actually, they did a great job with it because, now y'all know, again, I'm going to start hating now. Here you go. This is where y'all going to start getting mad at me, but I'm sorry. Darth Maul was not a character. No. He was an action figure.
Yes.
Yeah. Darth Maul was just a dude with cool makeup on and a cool ass lightsaber. Okay, who
could do a lot of flips.
Yeah, do a lot of flips and beat the shit out of people. And that's he was not a character. Clone Wars actually took Darth Maul and made him a scary, sad, and tragic figure all at the same time. Yeah. He actually was able to build himself back, and he was just driven with anger and hate. But also, he's just out in the desert losing his damn mind and just being miserable.
I have been waiting for you. I'm not sure I've made your acquaintance.
Oh, don't do that. He's rubbing it in. Yeah, who are you again? Right? Do I know you?
Darth. No, it's just not ringing a bell. I'm sorry.
I know a lot of Darths. I don't. What can I tell you? I'm like, come on, man. Now, see, he ain't making it any better. That's when he was just like, you know what, man? I'm gonna come out and say, I'm sorry, but you, man.
You may have forgotten me, but I will never forget you.
So he just
mad, bro.
Yeah. And
I cut a lot of people in half that week.
Yeah.
Refresh me.
You might want to take what half is left and get the my face. But nah, like he's driven with anger and rage and stuff. I mean, they actually did at least I thought they did a good job with that character. They and again added more to this character than whatever they did in the movie, way more than they did in the movie. But the thing is, I think with Dave Filoni, the stuff that Dave Filoni has done, when Dave Filoni, is really at his best, I think it's not just he understands Star Wars. I think that he understands storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can watch Ahsoka without having to watch Clone Wars and not understand everything, because when I watch this, I get the feeling that it is going somewhere. I feel like it has direction. I feel like what I don't understand might be clarified somewhere down the line. And I'm able to actually, the more I watch, I was able to put stuff together.
Sure.
So I wasn't as lost as I thought it would be. Now again, this is because I watched some of the stuff that I thought had no focus at all. Y'all know how I feel about the Book of Boba Fett, which seemed to me to have no direction. And the big joke, about this, Boba Fett lacked so much focus that the Mandalorian came in and took his shit.
Yeah, had to save it.
Yeah, it became it wasn't even the Book of Boba Fett. That book closed halfway through the season, man. I don't think that it bothers me that I haven't watched Clone Wars. I think they've done a good job of making it seem like it's so story focused that I can actually put things together. And what I don't put together, I feel like I will have it revealed to me at some point down the line. I think they do a good job of the storytelling here.
My only counter to that
What's that?
is that, yes, I can understand it without watching Clone Wars, but I feel like there's emotional beats and characters who show up or talk about things where I'm supposed to have a connection to it. And I can see that, like, having not watched Clone Wars, I don't have a connection.
Well, that's another thing with this. And this depends on the person that watches this. I know that this was meant for people who watch Clone Wars. This is the way I look at it, like if I came here complaining about, I don't know about no Clone Wars, like, well, that's on you. That's on me. I know that this is specifically for fans of Clone Wars, and I have nothing. For me, there's nothing wrong with that. So if that's my choice, if I want to come in and risk watching this without having watching that show or having any context. So, but see, that's what I'm saying. Depends on who you are. That didn't bother me too much, but you coming into it and not knowing Clone Wars, obviously that's something that bothers you. Yeah. So you just have to keep that in mind when you go into it.
I mean, I understand it completely. It's just there's times when they're like, well, this, and I was like, I don't know who that is. So
and then and I'm going to let that slide. And I thought, maybe somewhere down the line I will. Martin's like, I want that shit now. I want to know now. Which is,
I'm patient. I'm willing to wait.
Rebels. I'm sorry, Star Wars Rebels, not Clone Wars. So it's Rebels that it's from.
God damn, how many of these are there?
A lot.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, see, okay.
I guess it's Clone Wars and Rebels. It's a combination of those.
I already messed up.
Yeah. So you got a lot of catching up to do. Martin's like, I hate it more now. Yeah, Star Wars, Clone Wars and Rebels is where this is coming from. I will say this, watching this, I've learned something about nostalgia. There's a difference, watching this show in particular, there's a difference between nostalgia and legacy. I was thinking about this because watching this show, I think that there's some things that pop up that you could say nostalgia, but I think it's more legacy oriented.
This doesn't feel like it's leaning on nostalgia.
No, and see, that's what I mean by that, because I'll explain it here, because Star Wars has been the biggest offender, in my opinion, lately of shoving fan favorites and pandering to fans, and bringing popular characters back from the original movies just because they want to get a cheap rise out of the audience, man. They're keeping up with the same themes. Always with Jedis and more specifically Skywalkers. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. And again, it's all to just kind of
got a bad feeling about this.
There you go. Just to get a cheap rise out of the audience out there, man. That's why, I just shut my mouth. I said, okay, if everybody else likes it, that's fine. I myself I can't claim to have been the biggest fan of this moment in The Mandalorian. I don't know you.
I actually did like that.
I just see a dude with a bad haircut. Now, see, I didn't hate it, but again, I asked myself this: And again, this is not me trying to detract from anybody else that likes this moment, but I asked myself this with this. It was when Luke Skywalker showed up to pick up Grogu in The Mandalorian, and I know it was a big fan favorite moment. The reason why I wasn't crazy about it because I asked myself, could this story still have been told without having that character pop up? Could any other person come up and start training Grogu besides Luke Skywalker? And the answer is yes. That's why it seemed like they just, the studios are trying to like bring up these fan favorite characters.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and normally I would feel that way because so often it feels cheap. This is that moment that connects it in time and connected it in a way, and Luke being the one who trained him. It was poetic since he was trained by Yoda himself. And it wasn't just a, hey, look, it's me, cameo, and now I leave. They carried on with that.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Story.
See, when they carried on with it, I was like, I thought it got worse. I thought the storytelling got worse with it. I was like, Luke really has no purpose being here as it went on. But that's just me. Like I said, that's just.
Instead of go like, I can't do nothing with this boy.
Yeah.
I tried. He won't stay. So you ruined him. There, take him back.
But that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm here. I can't do shit with this. All right, bye. I got everybody cheer for me. I got what I wanted. Got everybody kiss my ass. I'm gone. I just, I really don't feel like Luke was needed, man. But that's just me, And like I said, I'm in the minority of people. But, that's to say that I'm comparing this to what they do here in this movie. That doesn't feel like the case here. If
really you didn't think it was felt the same?
No,
okay,
I'll tell you why. Because
I got that vibe.
Well, let me tell you why. Because if things like Jedi show up here, it's to be expected. Because
the main character's a Jedi.
Yeah, well, the character's a Jedi herself.
Yeah.
But again, you probably don't care for it because again, you're coming in and you don't like that this is so attached to Rebels and Clone Wars, because that's what I mean by legacy with this. So spoiler alert right here. That's why I can't complain the same way when, if you haven't seen this, go away now, come back tomorrow or something. But Anakin Skywalker shows up. Now, in Clone Wars and Rebels, and like I said, it might just be one of those shows or the other. I don't know. I haven't watched them. But I know in one of those shows, they are highly connected because, like I said, he's her trainer.
Right. And I get that. I just didn't like that they used the cheap, like, dream sequence or near-death sequence to bring him back. That felt gimmicky. That felt like the thing that they used to crowbar him in.
Yeah, in these stories, the Padawans are so connected with their Jedi, that it made sense to me why they would do it. Now, I will say, yeah, is it 100%, or is it completely not pandering? No, it's not. No, it's not 100% pander proof. No, not at all. No,
it could be in a Chinese zoo.
They definitely put this in here because they knew that the fans wanted to see them. So don't think I don't see through this.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me as much because, like I said, instead of just throwing him in there, he had a legacy with that character. That's why I say when I look at Luke with Grogu, they didn't really have to have him there for that. But with Ahsoka being so tied in with Anakin, I mean, they have a rich, deep history. That's legacy. That is not. To me, that's legacy. That is not fan service. And another thing with this is that I just thought Christian Haydenson was good in that role. I thought they gave him within that time frame. They didn't stretch it out for several episodes. Now they might. I haven't seen it yet. What they'll do with the next 3 episodes, but they didn't stretch it out. They gave him something that made sense for that character. And Christian Haydenson was really good in that. He had to go through, a lot of range within the limited time frame that they gave him.
Is it Christian Haydenson?
What? Yeah, what
is it? Hayden.
God damn it! I knew I did that before. Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen. I mean, in the time frame that they put him in there, I thought that, that was halfway through the episode. So the time they put him in there, I thought that he had a lot of range. I thought he had to go through a lot of things that character, that they never got at that character in the movies.
Certainly.
Yeah, and I just liked him in in that time frame they had him in. And I don't know, maybe I'm just happy for the guy. Now it might be a bias.
I know. You see, the nostalgia is working on you because you like him and you want him to have his due. Justice for Hayden.
Yeah, and it's not really nostalgia because it's not for the character. I just like that this guy is given a chance. I mean, he caught so much hell back in the day, man.
I understand.
And,
I just that I particularly did not like any of that. I liked him. I liked the idea of them being together, but I was like, you guys are using a cheap device to get to shove this in there.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
Because for what it ends up, I was like, this didn't need to be here at all.
We just got two different opinions. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, because I was like, this doesn't advance the plot at all.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. I'm gonna have to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because at some point it might have an impact later on the story. Maybe I won't like it as much. I don't know. In this moment, though, it didn't really bother me that much. And I keep telling people too, man. I felt so bad for him back in the day because he really is a good actor. I want to tell people to watch.
I know.
I do this all the time because there's always somebody who doesn't know.
I know.
This movie was buried, man.
Yeah.
Go watch this movie called Shattered Glass with
the people who know.
Yeah, with Hayden Christensen in it, man. That is right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen, man. Yeah, go watch this movie called Shattered Glass. He's a really good actor, man.
This way, the company called Juke Micronics and posted the salary of every Juke employee on Juke's website, saying the big bad bionic boy has been here, baby.
Man, this is a movie about a guy who is working for this paper, the New Republic. Who publishes that? That's a college paper, right? It's a college magazine, right?
I don't know.
Anyway, this guy, he works for this publication, New Republic. It's a big conservative magazine, but he was so charismatic that he just made up all these stories.
Yeah, just a compulsive liar.
Yeah, and he was so charismatic at telling them that nobody ever checked the sources or fact checked him. He just let him lie and just said, "Oh my God, this is awesome." Yeah, publish it.
This guy's the greatest reporter in the world.
Yeah, man. And thing about that is that Hayden Christensen had to be a charismatic person because that's what the character called for. I was like, damn, boy, George Lucas just made him look all kind of bad. We're going to do two different opinions of this show. It sounds like you really don't like this show at all.
That's not true. I think
not?
it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not enamored. I'll see an episode and be like, nah. Then I'll see another one. It's like, oh, that's good. I think I'm in it.
Yeah.
Then I'll see another one and be like,
It kind of goes back and forth
Yeah.
for you. Yeah. No, I hear you. Oh, let's see here, Martin. Well, you know what? Since you're feeling down, Martin, on this show,
I ain't down.
I'm gonna go ahead and go easy on you tonight. I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna give you one of my patented segues right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna warn you right now.
Okay.
So, do you mind if I stop and give a word to our sponsor right now?
Go ahead.
All right, people. So I got the permission from Martin over here. And Martin, you know what? You need to hear this anyway, man. You're a generous person. You look like a man that gives a lot of gifts. You got that Santa Claus beard and everything, man. I say this because the holidays are on their way. The holidays are coming, and everybody hates having to deal with lines at the post office. Everybody hates having to deal with the holiday rush.
It's true.
We're in September right now. The holidays will be here before you know it. So I'm telling you this right now so you can get a jump on Stamps.com. I want to thank Stamps.com for sponsoring this portion of the show. And with Stamps.com, not only can they help you with your packages, just for everyday use, but they can also help you with your business. Stamps.com has been helping businesses save money for 25 years. And they can also help you with your packages and also your holiday ramp up. Let's go to Stamps.com, get premium rates for all your postage needs. With Stamps.com, very easy.
Yeah.
All you need is a computer and a printer.
I got those two things.
You got a scale?
Yes, I do. I have a scale.
Well, in case you lose that one, they got you need another one. They'll send you a scale for free.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you break that one scale, you can have that one. You got a spare right there.
Good.
Thanks to Stamps.com, Martin. And it's orders can go even faster. They got an app so that if you want to take care of stuff on your phone, which everybody does today, don't worry about it. Stamps.com, they have an app too. If you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule that. They got a dashboard you can do that with. And if you sell products online, Stamps.com, they seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart out there. You can Order shipping and mailing supplies, labels, or even printers from the supply store. Yeah, man.
Look at you, stamps.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, Martin's gonna be getting. You know what? He's gonna get 2 accounts by the time this is done. Give one to Roger over here. And you know what? Roger can mail us stuff from Australia when he gets back using stamps.com. And he's just gonna want to get us gifts just because this service is so easy to use. And stamps.com, you get big discounts off of UPS and UPS and USP. What is this?
USPS.
USPS rates. You know, Martin, the reason why I can't say this, I'm getting staggered by the prices that you'll save on here. You can save up to 84%.
What?
Up to 84% off of USPS and UPS prices.
Wow.
Yes. Wow is right, Martin. And stamps.com automatically will tell you the cheapest and fastest shipping options if you need them. As I said, they've been around for 25 years, so you can trust them. And all you need to do is get yourself an account right now. And that's where you're really going to save, because if you go over to stamps.com and use the promo code TOASTED, then you will get a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. And all that with Martin's like, all right, how long I got to sign up for this? You know, just no commitments, no contracts, Martin.
Because I'll sign up just for the scales.
Yeah, man, you know what? Keep that scale, Martin. You know, you're not committed to anything. Anyway, I want to thank Stamps.com for sponsoring this portion of the show. I want to thank all of you out there for all of your support. Well, Martin, here's something with the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because now you've been disagreeing with mostly what I've been saying. Really, the things that I like, which is fine. No, that's cool. The things that I like, you have not been liking very much.
Well, let me put it this way.
Yes, sir.
While I disagree, it's not by a whole lot.
Okay. But you disagree.
Yeah.
Let's get that established. Well, Martin, how about this?
Okay.
Now check this out.
Okay.
How do you feel about the tone of the show? Because I feel like the tone of the show is consistent. And the reason why I say this is because watching something like The Mandalorian, now you might disagree with me, but I think that we agreed on this. The Mandalorian just had these weird moments of comedy relief, especially with the Amy Sedaris character. Mm-hmm. I forgot her character's name.
Yeah.
In this, was it Pale Motto or something like that?
Yeah.
Pele Motto. It just, you know, I don't know, it just seemed to come out of nowhere sometime.
Looks like it remembers me. How much do you want for it? Just kidding, but not really.
You know, he's like, damn, boy. I ain't come here for your comedy stylings right now. You know, under that mask, he's like, he's rolling his eye right now.
No, I expect her to go like, but seriously, folks.
He even got his head cocked like, will you please hurry up? Got some shit to do besides letting your around here. But I thought that, you know, I'm not against comedy relief or comedic moments in the show. Just sometimes they just felt like they just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I feel like Ahsoka is doing a pretty good job at keeping a consistent tone through the whole thing.
It is.
So, you know, I think that's what I like about this. I'm not saying that this is as good as Andor, because I know you like Andor a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to say this is as good as Andor, because you're going to jump my ass if I say it. But I do feel like Andor kept a consistent tone.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest strengths of that show.
Yes.
And I feel like Ahsoka kind of has just a kiss of Andor in there in that aspect.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
See? We can come together on these things.
Like, I only got so much on this list right here. Hey, man, if you disagree with me with everything, that would be good, because, you know, it's two different viewpoints.
Yeah. No, I think we'll probably agree here on out.
I believe that the show, it feels like it has less corporate interference. And what I mean by that is that I don't feel like there's any distracting cameos. Again, I don't want to pick on.
Don't jinx it.
I know we don't know yet. That is true. But as of yet,
Jack Black and Lizzo might show up in the next episode.
I don't want no Black. I don't want no Lizzo.
Ed Sheeran might be playing a guitar on some other planet.
Thundercat might be playing bass and shit. No, I don't. People. You know, I hate to pick on The Mandalorian, but you know that
last season they just kind of lost it.
Oh, you had to stop. And I tell you what, I was gonna pick it back up, but then your boy Jack Black and then Lizzo showed up, and I was like, nah.
Join us! Come!
He was. Plaisir suffered greatly under Imperial rule. My husband came here as part of his rehabilitation.
She's looking like, is this real?
And even look at Baby Yoda. He's like, God damn! Look at Like, y'all brought me to this.
I guess we just got to smile while she does that.
Yeah, man, y'all brought me to a bad comedy show right now. Man, those cameos hurt.
Yeah, they did.
Those cameos were painful.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
And I'm not even, and listen, and I don't even want to name names, but I tell you, that went on long. Some of the other cameos, they were shorter and just as painful.
Which ones you think of?
Man, I don't want to name no names. I'm just saying there was some people who are musicians they're just not actors, and they just it's like it just.
Yeah.
I myself am just not feeling this.
Yeah, same.
Taking me out of this. So, yeah, and speaking of Baby Yoda or Grogu, that's another thing. I don't feel like this show is pushing, and pushing hard. I don't feel like they pushed a toy or another product. Like, look, I know people love Grogu. Y'all know I call him Baby Yoda because that's what the hell that is. He got the same clothes on and everything.
Yeah.
They just made a cuter version of Yoda because Yoda's a recognizable character, and they just, they made a chibi version or a plushy version of Yoda. They can sell it to the kids, and shit. Forget Oreos, eat Grogu cookies, man. They made this damn. They made. You know what they did, man.
That was good.
They made it so not only they weren't content just to sell dolls and toys of this, they had to sell you the cookies too, man. And when I saw those cookies, I said, man, those ain't nothing but
the French macarons.
Macarons, yeah. And I was like, I said, man, they gonna sell these, and I'd be damned they didn't.
And jack the price up on them.
It should did $19, man.
Oh my God.
For like 6 of them or something. Yeah, I know Disney gonna get that money. I'm just saying it was pretty obvious, all right?
Yeah.
And look, I think Baby Yoda is cool too. I like him, but damn, it's pretty obvious what they were doing with it. I don't feel like this show's doing that. There's nothing as yet. There's nothing as obvious.
The only first season, not even the full first season, but yeah, so far, none of that. None of that. And it doesn't feel like it will do it.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's so consistent to its tone that it's not going to do it. So I hope that that's going to be the case. Here's another thing I think we can both agree on, Martin. I think you will very much agree with me on this. No sand. We've spent, man, listen. I used to love the gritty feel of Tatooine and all these places of scum and villainy, but after 3 shows, man, of playing in the dirt, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like most of the time you watch Star Wars, I got to take my shoe off and pour the sand out of it.
Yeah, take your shoe off. I got to get shoes out. I'll sand at the crack of my ass. Mm-hmm. Or a shoe. Sometimes you want to put your foot on my ass. But yes, I'm sorry. After Mandalorian, after the Book of Boba Fett, and after Obi-Wan, I was so tired of dealing with these dirty ass places, man. And I'm so glad that we are not spending so much time. Look, even sand is taking off the logo right there, man.
It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. Yeah.
Isn't that what Anakin said?
He sure did. And we all made fun of him. He was right. But with Ahsoka, I feel like they are very much using more diverse environments.
Yeah.
And I like that very much.
That was one of the things with Andor, that we were getting different environments.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, Martin, something that appeals to me, and you could tell me how you feel about this. Mm-hmm. Something else that appeals to me with Ahsoka, I think they have some really good performances on there. Not all. I think, to be honest with you, the main character herself, Ahsoka, I feel like she's a little too subdued for me sometimes. Mm-hmm. Let me find a picture of it. And I don't think she's bad. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I think she's perfectly cast, and I think she has some really good moments. Fight scenes with her are amazing. I just feel like the character is, it has that stilted dialogue a little bit, and she's very subdued in one note.
She's a little too stoic for her own good, or at least for what carries a show.
Yeah, but I don't hate her.
Don't hate her. Understand that's probably who she is. But
yeah,
as the charisma, the charisma that you hope for with a main character to drive a show, it's lacking some.
Yeah,
and it's okay if the other characters pick up the slack, but I don't feel like they are.
But I don't hate it. Don't hate her at all. I think she's fine. I like her. I actually, I like her and I like the character. I do. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I just think if you look at some of the other characters or some of the other actors, I just kind of like them better. Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
I thought he was amazing in this.
Yeah.
I love.
No, I get excited every time he comes on.
Yeah, I love Ray Stevenson's character. Baylan, I think is the name of the character. It's kind of a rogue Jedi, gone dark, kind of like the Inquisitors from Obi-Wan. And I thought he had some really good moments with a lot of the characters. I thought he had a really good moment with Ahsoka before they had the big showdown.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
You look like he better do a rap battle or something. You look like Eminem. Begin the 8 Mile. Back to reality.
Mom spaghetti.
The only reason I'm here is to secure the future.
And he's a veteran, man.
Mm-hmm.
Acting veteran. This guy, he's old school, man. He just had I don't know, man. It was something that was, he just, with this character, obviously a bad guy, but there was such a dignity to that character, that I love. And he brought it to it.
Tell you, watching that scene, I wish there was some way she could have taken her earrings off.
Take that damn head off right there, and dookie braids she got, which I know is attached to her head. But and I thought the fight scenes in this were good. I thought it was well choreographed. I thought a lot of fight scenes were made. Their fight scene was brilliant, man.
Mm-hmm.
And here's something else I like about the show. I think it looks great. I think the show looks amazing, man.
And the CGI they use, it all looks good.
Man, that scene with the space wells.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought it went to kind of a ridiculous place for me. Where they went, I thought they were just gonna show them, and then I'm not gonna say anything if you haven't seen it. But there's a scene here where they go to a planet, and this is what I'm talking about with cool world building, man. They have wells, but the wells fly through the sky instead, and then there's a whole chase scene that goes in and out of the wells. And I thought, man, this is such a well put together scene. Mm-hmm. This is something straight out of Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
And this is a television show, but this rivals the big budget movies out there, man.
Yeah. Well, even with a lot of these shows, they'll have some good effects, and then there'll be some where you're like, oh, that's so good. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that. I'm gonna blur my eyes. But I thought everything so far in this has looked great.
And somebody said these wells are from Rebels also. So cool.
All right, it's from Rebels.
Well, I want to know. I like to know where these things are from because, like I said, I haven't seen the show. I've only watched them in little bits and pieces. So
the whales were cool.
So I don't mind learning where these references are from. In fact, I think that again, that even says something that I watched this and didn't know that this was from Rebels, and it still worked for me. I thought that this is something that they did with good storytelling. Finally, I really want to hear what you think about this, Martin. One of the biggest things I love about this show, they finally admit midichlorians are bullshit. They finally came out and just said it. They've been trying to they've been tap dancing around this for so long. This is the show that said, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what George Lucas says. Midichlorians, that's some bullshit. We're gonna act like it didn't even exist.
If that's true, then why doesn't everyone use it? Talent is a factor, but training and focus are what truly defines someone's success.
We went from midichlorians, you had to be born with that shit to be a Jedi too. Well, everybody got it.
Yeah.
Like COVID or something. Everybody got it. Even if you want to train hard enough, which is what I liked about being a Jedi anyway.
That's the only way it made sense, because with the original Star Wars: A New Hope, it was the implication was, hey, you went to the monastery and you trained, you could do this. Then later, you got to have the midichlorians. It's like, this only makes sense if having midichlorians, if it's like talent, when she explained it. Like, if you have the midichlorians, it makes it much easier.
Yeah.
But that if you don't, you can still do it. You just got to try a little harder.
Yeah. Some people are more force sensitive than others. And they, listen, to be honest with y'all, they still trying to figure out what the force does.
Yeah,
they don't know. They don't know.
You know what the force can do? Whatever you needed to do
at that
when
moment.
you need it.
Whatever the person writing the script wants it to do to get to point A to point B. They still trying to figure out the force, but it is making more sense right now. I'm glad they call them bullshit on midichlorians. I think that I like this whole thing of some people are more force sensitive than others, and not everybody can train to do it.
Yeah.
So I've always thought that's something that they should do. I think I like the show for the reason that I just said. Now, do I love it? No, there's still some things in there. like what I was saying, I really did enjoy I really did enjoy watching Anakin Skywalker reappear. I did, and like I said, I like this character so much now, more than I did before. But I agree, it was a little bit of fan service, but it's fan service that worked for me, for me. But not, again, I know it doesn't work for everybody. Just like with Luke, like Luke working with you, and just didn't work for me. But I don't think that anything is wrong here.
Well, it's not like I see him pop up and I go like, oh, this is bullshit. Let me turn it off. But I was just like, all right, you wanted to get him in here. I get it.
Yeah.
And you kind of use a cheap device to do that.
Yeah. I and again, I find myself more partial to the stuff that Dave Filoni is doing, man. I just think the guy just knows he understands Star Wars. He understands character, and he understands telling a story. Not just a Star Wars story, but he understands telling story, story or just storytelling in general. So, maybe it's a bias towards him. But yeah, so you said you had some other things you wanted to say about this show.
Well, most of it I've said. But what I can say is I think the characters are a little weak. And most specifically, the character of Sabine, who I just kind of hated from the first episode. The whole thing with her, okay, I'm not going to show up to the speech, the ceremony thing, because I'm a rebel and I don't do stuff like that. It's like, all right. But she's just, in the beginning, she's just so petulant. And I was like, maybe this is something from the Rebels or Clone Wars that I'm missing, why she has this attitude. But she does that thing that they write characters to do, especially when they're younger, is to like, hey, this thing is important. We need your help, but whatever you do, don't take it away from where it is, because people are trying to steal it. Oh, okay. Second people walk out of the room, she takes it somewhere else, and somebody comes and takes it from her. I like to see Ahsoka fight, and Ray Stevenson is cool, and even that little crazy blonde chick he's got, his Padawan, she's interesting.
Yeah.
But so much the other things. And there's something else that's going on. And even I saw just a snippet with Chris Herman bringing this up, where they're going to the council and saying, yo, we got evidence that General Thrawn is out there. He's coming back. And they're just like, nah, don't believe that. And not even going to check it out. Just like, oh, stop talking trash. We're not even thinking about that. I'm like, it's kind of important for y'all to just blow it off in this way. It's just there's little stuff like that like makes me stop. It takes me out of it.
Oh, yeah. I think
so, because I had kind of stopped watching it after the first couple episodes. And then last Friday, like I said, I was like, I got nothing going on. Let's pick this back up. And then I was kind of getting into it again. But then watching this fifth one, I was like, I'm not liking this one so much.
Yeah, I think, again, too, a lot of it, because I see a lot of people saying there's so much context from Rebels here. Yeah. And that's, again, we said this at the beginning, if this is something that's made for those fans. It's almost a show made for those nerds out there.
Right, I get that.
So that's that, I guess, because I see some of the stuff that goes on here. So I'm being pretty lenient saying that this is something I might have missed. This is, I don't have context to this. Maybe I'm just going to wait and see what happens. So I asked when this show was coming out, I said, is this going to affect how I see this if I haven't watched those TV shows? And, now I haven't watched it. It's funny. Again, it depends on who you are, because you can see how it's affecting two different people here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's which I think is cool how you can see that. So you just have to how important is it for you to like not have that context when you go in?
It's this happens all the time with different properties. Sometimes it's movies that are connected to other things, and if you're somebody who's been into it, like say it's a comic book and you've been reading that a long time, you watch the movies, everything that happens, you have a connection to the past, and you're like, oh, this is so important. But if you come in cold and they don't really take the time to like ramp you up to speed, not just with what you understand is happening, because I watch this, I understand, but emotionally to go like, oh, I see why this is important, then the person who's into it says like, man, anybody can enjoy this. The person who's not goes like, well, yes, but only to a certain degree.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. You see two different opinions here. So for those people who ask, can I get into this? Well, again, how important is it to you to know what those shows are about? If it's not that important, maybe you'll enjoy it like I did, because obviously I enjoyed this a little more than you did. I don't want to give it a rating yet because the series isn't over. Maybe we'll do a wrap up when it's done. But if those things really bother you that you're missing, because again, not having that context for characters could make them worse for you. Because some people even telling me like Sabine is, a certain way in the show that affects how she is now,
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, but you don't have that.
Yeah,
I
I don't have that.
Yeah.
I will say, as much as I hate Sabine, I love that robot. That robot tells it like it is.
Oh, man, what's his name? Qui-Gon or something? Qui-Gon or who?
I don't know.
Wuggy Bear?
I space on the names.
Hu Yang. Yeah, Hu Yang, who's voiced by David Tennant.
Yeah. Nah, he's awesome. Okay, I say there's no character I get excited about. I get excited about him.
No, I like Hu Yang too. There was a point in the show where Hu Yang, and here's Hu Yang here. Let me see. And there he is. Boy, that's a lifelike robot right there. Man, he looks different on the show. No, here he is right here. No, there was a point in the show, he's like, nobody listens to me.
Yeah.
They never listen.
Oh, she's like, oh, so what? I'm the worst Jedi. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he did tell her. Did you say that? Yeah. Hell yeah, I said it. A minute too.
She asked.
Yeah. No, I like that character too.